Good morning, everyone. Thank you for making the time and attending this presentation about information security. This training, as you know, is delivered annually and to help staff understand our latest procedures and information regarding data and services. Securing Northeast Waters is the responsibility of all the employees. And in this training, we will cover the following things: threats, physical security. What are threats? How can we better manage threats? Physical security. What is physical security? What is digital security? How do we secure our mobile devices? How do we secure our data? How do we secure our sites as well? So the first thing that we'll be talking about today is device security and privacy. Our mobile devices offer us amazing flexibility to access anything from any part of the world. But that comes with a risk that not everyone is aware of. So in this going to the next slide, I'll talk about how can we keep our mobile devices more secure to better ourselves. So what do you think is one of the key things on protecting your mobile devices? Yes.
Key pins.
Exactly right. That's good. Other things, anybody?
Find my phone?
That's good too, but yes, that is good. I'll talk about that later. But this is solely about when you have a mobile device and if someone gets it, how can you protect it if it is not locked? So obviously, like Cheryl said first, we have to lock our devices. That can be your PIN, that can be by password, that can be with your fingerprint security, that can be your face recognition, anything that other person doesn't have that you've got. The other thing to think about is that you're not being watched while you're unlocking your device, because people can just look at your device and if you're putting your password in, they can see the combination, and when they steal your phone, they're straight into your phone, and then they can get corporate data off it, they can get personal information off it, and then you'll be in all kinds of troubles. Let's talk about the second one that Kim just pointed out to us. Find my device. So most of the modern phones now, they come with this feature called Find My Device. So you keep your location on, and then even if you lose your phone, the data is sent back to the cloud. Depends on the phone that you're using. If you're using Apple, you can find my phone on iCloud. If you're using Google, you can find your phone on your Google account. So that just keeps us aware of where our phone is, even if you lose it. So ensure that always Find My Device is on, and then ensure that you can remotely wipe your device if you lose it. Most of the modern phones nowadays have this facility. All you have to do is just go into the device and turn it on. And backups. Backing up your phone every month or every week is a great idea. You don't have to physically do it now because everything's on cloud now, and for your iPhone, you just turn on your iCloud syncing engine on and it'll just back up everything for you. Same with the Google, you just turn on your Google account sync engine and it will just back it up for you. So just bear in mind that always back up your phone. Do not make sure that you're not being watched when you're opening your phone, when you're unlocking your phone. And another important thing that I would like to add is that make your passwords a bit complicated so they're not easily guessed as well. Any questions in the room? Good. Privacy at Northeast Water. We have an obligation to protect customer data. How do we achieve that? Okay. Before we get into that, let's talk about why we have an obligation to protect the customer data. Under the new government requirements, reporting of data breaches is now mandatory. The Office of the Australian Commissioner defines a data breach as unauthorized access or unauthorized disclosure of personal information or loss of personal information that holds that an entity holds. You can obviously read more about this on the Australian Information Commissioner website, but we at Northeast Water have an obligation to protect customer data. Any data breach would have serious consequences, and reporting is now mandatory. So how do we comply with this new Privacy Act, or with this privacy that we have to comply at Northeast Water? Like I said, all you have to do is secure your devices, make sure that you report to us if you lose your device, and keep a backup of your data, and report to us if you think that there is a breach. Even if you think there is a breach, please report to us so we can keep on top of that. So that way we can ensure that the privacy is protected. Next, let's talk about password policy. Everyone, I know that most of the people in the room have passwords, pins for everything, but how strong is your password? How strong and secure is your password? Can the person next to you guess your password?
The person next to me knows my password.
That is not good. That is not good. Okay, I'll have to talk to you after the presentation. Never write down your passwords. Never share your passwords. Never share your account details with anyone. Use different passwords for different things. I know it's hard to keep on top of all these things, but make sure that you tweak your passwords every now and then, so you don't feel like you're making so much effort just managing your passwords. Always have different passwords for different accounts, because attackers will try the same credentials with same passwords, just changing it, adding extra numericals at the end, or using the capitalization at the start, because this is a known issue. Everyone who changed their passwords either just add an extra digit at the end or add a capitalization at the start. So make sure you don't use that practice, and just change a password completely. Here at Northeast Water, we change our passwords every 180 days, and your passwords have to be 12 characters minimum. And always be creative with your passwords, because date of birth, year of birth, mother's maiden name, and your favorite shows, your favorite celebrity, these are all easy to guess. That people just use these for their passwords, and you go into your social network or your social media, and anyone can find information about you, and they will use that against your account. So make sure that your password is completely different to what anyone would think it would be. Another way of making your devices secure is two-factor authentication. Where it is available and practical, you should take advantage of the two-factor authentication, because say you lose your laptop and someone's trying to get into your laptop. You have a two-factor authentication enabled. What it does is, when someone's entered a password in, it will ask you to go to your phone if you have an app that is running your next authentication protocol, and all you have to do is just click approve or enter the PIN onto your laptop. So with the two-factor authentication, you are creating an extra layer of security for others to not intrude. It can be an app. It can be as simple as an application on the phone, or a text message to your phone, and two-factor authentication also. So the most of the banks, they are now getting into the habit of forcing their customers to use two-factor authentication, because there are many breaches now. So if some of you already might have an idea of how a two-factor authentication works. If not, after this presentation, you can come to ICT, or you can request for us to run another presentation, and we'll do that as well. Now, remote access. We working at Northeast Water have flexibility of working off our regional headquarters, and that means that you will be remoting into our network from outside. This can be a home, this can be an internet cafe, this can be a restaurant, anywhere you like. So how do we keep ourselves safer in that context? Keeping our security practices private makes intruders hard to get into our systems. When out in the world, you obviously connect to the Wi-Fi's. Say if you're staying at a hotel, you'll obviously connect to the guest Wi-Fi at the hotel. Say if you are at a public event and they have an open Wi-Fi there, you will connect to that Wi-Fi. But how safe is that? Do you trust them enough? Of course you do. Do you trust them enough? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But usually everyone just trusts them, and you just open your phone, connect to Wi-Fi, and bam, you're in. That is not a safe practice. You should always connect to Wi-Fi's only when you trust them. How do you trust Wi-Fi networks? Say if you're attending a seminar somewhere at another water corp, obviously they will have similar standards as us, and they will have a secure network as well. So then you know that you can trust that. Public Wi-Fi networks, can you trust them? It is very tempting, but very dangerous. You cannot trust public Wi-Fi networks. Most of the intruders are just hanging out at public networks and accessing people's devices from there. Only use HTTPS sites when you are out in the world. That HTTPS is end-to-end encryption, so that means that you've got security from the start of your connectivity of the site till you finish your job. Also, what do you do when you're at a public network? Don't use a public network. Use your 4G, your hotspot. Hotspot your mobile to your laptop. That way, you know that you'll have a secure network.
Can hackers connect to my phone if I turn on hotspot?
No. Until and unless you have a weak password. So say you have your password is all zeros, because that is something common that everyone does. So make sure that your hotspot password is strong. Going back to our password policy and how safe can we create our passwords, make sure that your password is complex and not easy to guess.
I just used the one that came with the phone. It has lots of numbers.
That's good. The one with the phone is usually I'd say 30% safe, but not 100%. So make sure that you change that. You always have an option to change that. So if you don't know how to do that, anyone in the room, please come and see us after the presentation and we can help you with that. Any questions while we're going? Yeah, very good. Also, when you're getting into Northeast Waters network, what is the best way? The best way that we thought would be is providing a private gateway. That's why we use Citrix, and that is the website apps.anywater.com.au that you have to log on to, and then it'll come up with that you have to go to. You enter that URL, and then it will come up with a login screen. You put your you put your user account and your user account details. That is your username and password, and then you are in our network, and you can use whatever you can do. Finish your job that you wanted to finish. Also, Citrix. Why we chose Citrix was you have the same permissions, not same, but similar permissions in Citrix as you would have at the headquarters or at your workplace. So say, for example, at work, you use an application. You're using OneNote, and you go back home and you can't use OneNote, and you need some notes from your OneNote. How do you get access to that? You log into Citrix and your OneNote is in your portal, just waiting for you. So that's good. Any questions? If you don't have any questions, and if you can think of any questions further on, please come and see us in our pods, our callers, or you can email us. I hope that this session was educational and a bit informative, because the things that I spoke about are not just for Northeast Waters devices and data at all. These can be used, these practices, you can use them at your home as well to make your home computers or devices secure.
Thanks, Avi.
Thank you. You guys have a good day.